It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Yes, Alatimela Bafetu, you are at the right place. This is the Golden Podcast, Bafetu. So allow me to welcome you to the golden era of greatness, Bafetu Latewa. Nagina Mukumto Pelmogotalo Barabahadi, Stolos Avashabi, MK, the poet, Manto. So if you love rock Bafetu Latewa, but it Tauja Togasovoga, the Shitwaki Nari, Ichoja. I'm never ruling alone, Bafetu. So my ninja, Major Gustavo.
Hey, you already know what it is, Bafetu. It's your boy, Major Gustavo. Kill number one boy the whole time, the whole gang, the baby daddy. Tataga Azanya, Bafetu. Intona Selukshin, Intona Setastin, Bafetu, Intonaga Mencharo, Injaro, Bafetu. So yeah, man. Welcome to the Golden Podcast.
Let's say, what am I to Mara Palamite? Active like to say you. Mara at the end of the day, get a man, Rulaman, what am I get out to?
Dumela metswalle nna ka lebitso la ntse ba ke na le bua Rulaman o mongwe ra meta mo di Facebook Rulaman wa di mic tšeo tura tšeo suta fela look it's so fly feta playing the Superman get more fire the Golden Podcast viewers
More fire.
And if you don't get it,
Forget about it.
Yeah, Bafetu, a moment of silence, Bafetu, for our person soldier, our fallen soldier, rather. DJ Sambody Bafetu.
Yeah.
Get rest in power.
rest in peace
R.I.P. man, R.I.P.
rest
to
is my
DJ.
friend
Yeah, man. R.I.P. to your homie, man.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
to your niggas.
I can understand you going through a lot right
Yeah,
now.
I even saw your post on Facebook when you were talking to your friend Casper University and telling him Raskabo to the one go fair.
re ka fela njaga to tsara na di call Casper fasa
But even speaking of which, Bafetu, the name DJ Sambody Bafetu, it brought a question into my mind, Bafetu.
Yeah.
Why Major Gustavo?
Man, Major Gustavo. Yeah, man, Major Gustavo, it's a huge brand, dog. I don't know a lie. But then, first and foremost, man, I think I got it from friends. You know how names you get from friends stick on, young child. So a big shout out to Tashline. I got the name from Tashline since from way back, Sajali Paula, and then it just dwelled on Namanje. Even everything that I do now, it's Major Gustavo.
Everything that you do is major.
Yeah, man, you know what I mean?
Major.
Big shout out to the homie, man, and yeah, that's who I am, man. Ever since in the industry, I've been pushing along with the same name, whether it's a producer or whatever PR or whatever I do within the cycles of the entertainment. Or everybody now calls me Major Gustavo. So yeah, man, it's just got stuck there. So yeah, that's what's up.
So, Rulaman, what Mike to do that? What's up, Bafetu? Big time.
more fire
The name Rulaman Bafetu, where does it come from?
from my ex-girlfriend ex-girlfriend
Just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
so when I grew up kumutfo
Or as I didn't.
Everybody picture the shield you come around.
Everybody knows the shit.
Yes, the shield. When I Roman drinks together, I was good, got a super punch, guys.
You were another man.
Yeah, all in another man.
Yeah.
But I begin a lot of Shenyana, we you back up a group. So, Karo Jola let this girl. Popular Jola, now try that lap boy. So the Gamorat, I think you win, I think you prove and the Gamorat.
So I'll tell you that Pama Jita or Lapaman.
Okay, it's even not dangerous outing. I'll take the Dallas Boga, see a Chave, Bishop.
But you just had to pull through.
One abusive relationship, you want to Chava Mokata for Koso Lapi.
Okay.
So,
yeah, what happened?
You know, the move like a hero, so yeah. I got Hopla chance, Karan Halim Nala. And I go hello, number of Togomela, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rajola, Damana found out, Moasa Chanela.
Fed out. Probably go fed out.
What I go found out, to guys, you will find out. I will find out. Yeah. So, and they'll find it out, Linda Gillet. ke tailo ke plugile nne ke sa plug nne ke chabile
So alcohol is a man or when what I get
crew ya ka isiyo so
The
ndi
shield.
no chaba ke ufuta
The shield.
the shield kunzima now we were undertaker la
Yeah.
lele ya ka madimabe mjitala nzama ishi afeila
What's the man?
afeila monola makala re how bjane monapele mothola ebile a sa mfounela a sa ngantia ebile o nkgopela tshwarelo like ya ba lo rechaile ka bona ke tshwara ngwana a mpulela Facebook account a re wa wena ha o se wena even wa rula
Tango.
and ke rata man ke rata element wa phelang le
The nose.
Oh, and the element they get the ruler man.
Yes.
So coincidence will already. The fever in the ruler man.
Yeah, man. So, Evan Rulerman as a brand, what do you do? I understand that you are a Facebook comedian. At least tell us a little bit more about that.
Yo, Leroy ruler man is a Facebook comedian. If your account la and kisi holo dog, ile fala mwana.
Ke inheritance already.
Yeah, you better get into it. Remember from Undertaker to a Facebook comedian. Depression and make sure
And being Casper's friend.
Yeah.
What the comedians? What is I get the dog sanya?
Yeah.
You guys
We are doctors. We are
deserve
doctors.
capes.
Yeah, we are doctors.
Yeah, hey, so one MK the poet was fit. MK the poet was fit too. To be honest with you, was fit. I enjoy writing.
Yeah.
I believe in writing doesn't matter. Any form of writing is art.
Yeah.
Whether you are writing a book or you are writing a poem or you're just writing whatever it is that you are writing. Sometimes when you hold a pen, open up your mind, just write. So I'm that kind of a guy. I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So one of these good days, I went out with my ninjas. They wanted to go and record my shit. I'm always surrounded by artists, like by creative people. So some of those people are singers, some of those people are producers. So I went to the studio with one of my producer friend and his singer friend. So we went there, we featured at another studio, we did our thing. No, they did their thing. What can I tell you? They did their thing. By reach a writer's block. Like there was a corner of the song where they wanted to fill it with something. They didn't know what to fill it with. So I took a pen, I took a paper, I wrote a poem.
Yeah.
And the song is a piano song, to think about it. So I don't think there's anybody right now who's doing poems on piano. No one. Who's doing that?
Yeah,
So
no.
I
There's
thought,
a lot.
There's a lot. Who?
Yeah. Setchill does.
Well, but he sings.
Yeah, but
He sings those poems. Now I
you
recite those poems.
Oh, I get you. I get
So
you.
nobody does that.
Yeah, which is unique, bro.
Which is, you see?
Yeah.
So I decided to write a poem and I gave it to this other guy. And the way in which he was reciting the poem was not the way I wrote it. So I didn't want my creative intellectual property to be used in that way. So I said, let me show you.
How it's done. Yeah.
So I got in front of the mic. Ngasha into yam. Ngasha into yam. Ngasha into yam. Ngasha into yam.
More fire.
So, no, when I was saying that in Toyama, I wasn't doing it because I wanted it to be recorded. But coincidentally, Majita, they were recording it.
They were feeling the energy. They were feeling the vibe.
I think the producer, the guy who was producing, thought, let me just record it. I don't know what this guy, what is he going to do?
Yeah.
I recorded it and it was dope.
Yeah.
So I was surprised, but Majita, they were like, what you just did here, that's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly that was missing. I was like, thank you, Majita. Now I believe I'm that good.
Yeah.
So we saved that song. One of these good days, Bafetu, on the podcast live, I'm going to recite that poem. And I'm going to release that song.
I can bet my last money on it. The poem was about a girl.
Almost every song is about love.
Yeah, I know it might be about love, but this one was specifically about a girl.
Yeah, because at that time I was in a relationship with another girl, so of course she meant a lot to me.
So was it a sad poem
it was
broken? Were you broken?
One of the stanzas was, "Love is the color of you."
Ooh.
You see, like, you should understand, or it's a beautiful poem. It was a beautiful poem. It's just
Is that an X?
No, I know, yeah, it's an X.
Wow. Hey,
But
she lost, eh?
No, she lost a lot.
Hey, she lost a
No,
lot.
Let's
lost.
continue.
I can
with the
imagine.
show.
Yo.
You lost.
What did I lose, though? I'm the gold, my friends. I'm the gold. I am the gold. When
I
we are
feel
here,
you, bro. I
see,
feel
she
you,
lost.
yeah.
No,
but then
you
that's not
lost.
what we are here to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's all remember it. But friends, we went to the streets of East Lebanon, my friends, and we introduced the podcast to the people, and we also asked them what they wanted to see on the podcast, my friends.
Yeah.
We were working, my friends, and what they told us is that the most prominent thing they told us was that they want to see development in their community. They want to see change.
Yeah.
And we told them that we would advocate for change. So what fits would feel like
Yeah, man. One other thing I've noticed when we were on the street and it's pity we couldn't like shoot everybody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
but
yeah.
then we could get like maybe one person representing maybe 20, 50
Yeah.
people with the same point. You know what I mean? But then when you go to the street, Muna, the street is always massive to be there. You understand? Because you get to see the energy, the rawness of how they want it to be narrated or how they want certain things to be implemented within the community. You understand? You can feel the frustration of the community, like they're desperate for this change. They're desperate for this whole new dawn of change. You get my point. So yeah, man, we went out there and the community is not happy with certain things and they're happy with certain things, and we're just here to give them a platform so that we can at least maybe reach their certain
the
people that can
who-
help them. Yeah. So
yeah, man. Like, when we were talking to them, there were a lot of things they were talking about. But we know certain things were just more prominent than others.
Yeah.
Or maybe if the people just don't know. We as the youth, what we want, or what we are going through right now, it's probably the same thing because we see the same things. Like
Exactly.
we go through the same experience. So one of those experiences right now, again, I mean, let's be honest, Bafetu, something that should have never happened. Something that we all know should have never happened, really, especially under our watch. We were supposed to be there on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is the closure of that school of Tabudi, and I know really community Naya. So I mean, let's dive into that immediately.
yeah. So yeah, man. I'm glad. Number one, we identified the problem, which is we can't close a school, which it provide education to the community.
That raises a lot of questions.
Exactly my point. So I really would like to understand or what transpired to a decision whereby we're closing the school down.
Yeah. That's why, at least right now, we are very fortunate to have a person who was a student Tabudi with us. What happened actually? School spell this toilet.
Tabudi one ish. Students' problem. Students.
Well, the students were a problem.
Lack of discipline,
Yeah.
lack of management, lack of period attendance. Ooh.
Oh,
there was a lot of bunkers.
So the students were not attending classes.
But
Even teachers were not attending classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
you touched on something. I think it's very sensitive to what we're talking about, the management. Can we, like, as we talking about this and discussing the whole problem, Tabudi, can we also like identify the management structure?
The management
Yeah,
structure.
the leadership, Tabudi or Renele Joang.
Where the leadership structure of every school, like, it's based on what's the leadership of the school.
Yeah.
The SGB, the school governing board. They are the last decision makers. But the decision maker is the principal, the deputy principal, the DHs,
HODs.
department heads, and then the teachers.
Yeah.
So collectively, those people make decisions or they run the school.
So
whatever perspective you have of the school is because of those people. They are the ones who are the decision makers. Yeah.
So which means they have a meeting or a platform where they sit collectively and identify certain problems that they have as a school.
Yeah.
And they come up with a decision.
Or a way to solve those problems. You see, a solution for those problems.
So can we say, is it safe for us to say, or okay, on that meeting, there was the head of the school with the deputy and the SGB, the governing body,
and the teachers.
And the teachers. So they sat down, had a meeting, and then they come up with a problem. Okay, we're identifying this problem, and now the solution towards this problem, we're closing it down.
No, let's put it like this. They understood. They sat down, they talked, they discussed, and the problem that they come up with was that they haven't enrolled enough students at the school. You see, that's the problem of the school, and it's the management's fault, because why wouldn't we want to go to Tabudi to learn in the first place?
Yeah.
Isn't that because maybe Urachava or the kind of education they are providing there is not what we want as Bahan. So again, after identifying that problem, now it's no longer in their hands.
Yeah.
It's in the hands of who? The Department of Education.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a school. We have given them everything they want. They have teachers, or even if they don't have teachers, they don't have the power to ask for teachers because their enrollment number is not enough. You see, even if you complain, one teacher cannot teach 7 subjects. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is that when the Department of Education identified that problem, they decided, no, let's go to that school and talk to the management and tell them, because you are unable to enroll a certain number of students. I think it's 200. I'm not sure. Well, I think we'll do more research on that.
I think Ivan, excuse me, Marcus. Rulerman was there. So I want to understand and get that feel. When you're still attending the overall of students, how many you think they were?
Maybe 500 or more when I was.
What year was that? When last were you there? Which year was that?
2013.
2013, and the school closed?
2019.
Or which means after you left, that's when everything started?
No, not after I left.
Yeah.
Things were already going in that
2010.
direction. Yeah.
In 2010, maybe 900 award. In 2011, I got 700.
Oh, so each and every year
they were
dropping numbers.
Okay.
Oh, so when it came to 2019, around from 6 years from 2013 to 2019, they lost a certain number till 200.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's understandable. So, which means I want to understand another thing. Another question I want to ask is. I get now the department can see from the systems, or okay, this school
it's not enrolling
enough. So according to that structure, identifying which was the structure of
management.
The management structure.
The school management team. We call them the
So SGB EML the whole community.
Yes. Yeah. It represents the community, the parents of the students of Tabudi.
Of the students of Tabudi. If the department identifies this problem, and then Babuta management Tabudi to acknowledge this problem that they have, so I believe then it's within the responsibility of school governing body now to start to get support from the community, from other parents who their kids are not going there, so that they can start getting those numbers so that it can enroll enough numbers for the school to operate.
That would have been the solution.
Yeah, I want to understand why didn't we get there, or why didn't they get there during that process? I want to understand what failed them to recruit more community parents to enroll their kids there.
It also comes back to even if they came into the community and asked the parents to go to Tabudi. The way in which Tabudi was ran, it was not conducive for parents who knew what was going there and they had the money to take their kids outside of the community.
Yeah.
Cause
That's why I get it now.
Mara, now there's something I think I don't want to say compromise. Mara, I think there could have been an improvisation. Or okay, now we're improvising, or we let's say in a household. Let's say for instance, when I out in Tabudi, I choose like Belil Babakai ko tlung by Loren back in high school at that time.
it's an Tabudi. More than 800.
No,
No,
at your house, like high.
I was alone.
No, what in high school, Luan. And when by the time you were going to high school, no, Luan. Okay, I think maybe Leonard might be a bit of a problem. Mara, look at it this way: if there was a household of like maybe 2 kids that are going to high school, yeah, we'd take maybe the Omunyani and just enroll them in Tabudi. Maybe grade 8, grade 9, then we can take him out just to sort this problem out. The school mustn't shut down.
At least, yeah. And I got another thing I get it. But when we were doing our research, we also found out if the school was performing, even under those circumstances, the department wouldn't have the right to close it down, because it means whatever system they have in place is working.
Yeah.
So Mara, because the number of failing students was increasing yearly, then the department has to come in and find other alternatives or other solutions. Mara, I don't agree with the closure of the school. While we are still in that, I don't agree with the closure of the school.
Now sometimes I agree, guys.
You agree with the closing of the school?
I agree.
Why? So which means now the problem of enrollment, there was something hindering enrollment is because of there was already something wrong there, and they didn't want to acknowledge the problem, which means as a community we already identified what the school has a problem, but then as a community or as the school, let me say as the school, we never wanted to acknowledge that problem.
Now,
so who was the last head master of the school when
the principal?
Yeah.
When I was at Tabudi, or
when they were taking the decision, or now we're finalizing this thing, Rasqualas Kelas.
I don't think there was no principal. No, there was an
acting
principal.
principal.
Yeah. There was an acting principal. It was Mr. Ramtwala.
Yeah.
Mr. Ramtwala. Yeah.
So Len, what do you think, what he could have done or to save the situation?
Mr. Ramtwala was fighting
to save for the school.
To save the school.
I think everyone. You see, let me tell you something. The way that I see it, every educator at Tabudi who probably had the qualifications to be the next president was probably fighting for the school not to lose, because it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for the pocket. You see.
But guys, my bad. There's something I want to bring on the table. According to the Golden Podcast team research team, we came up with an information. Tabudi, it's not closed. The school is not.
It's not.
But that building is closed. I think they had to take Tabudi and measure it into one.
That's the solution the department came up with. We are not closing the school, but because they are not enrolling enough students, we just measured with the closest high school, which was in this case. Yeah.
But how are the operations there? Because if they're not closing it, which means in the books of the Department of Education, we still have Tabudi as a school, and it exists with that low enrollment.
I think it should be possible for us to say, it should be possible for the Department of Education.
It school.
It does, because that's what's going on right now.
Also, I think it's possible for Tabudi to. I think it's possible.
Yeah, as a public school.
I think it's possible for Tabudi to enroll enough students for it to go back to Tabudi.
Yeah,
I think that should be possible.
Because I think the thing is they're just shutting down that.
They shut down the building. Yeah, they did not shut down the school.
The school.
If you go to Tabudi, if you go to Sialamin, you will find Tabudi students. Yeah. But they are no longer enrolling.
Yeah.
They are no longer enrolling students. Mara, if they opened up their books and said we want to enroll,
so which means Tabudi hasn't died. It's still on the phases of dying, which means something can be done to rescue the whole thing. Because I want to understand this. Let's say there's 600 students enrolling right now.
Yeah.
So which means there's part of student within 600 by Loring, they're still under Tabudi. So how many are they?
If we divide them equally, we have 300. That's
300.
over the limit. That's over the 200 that's needed to.
Exactly, because of remember.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think we're coming up with a solution.
yeah. What if we was say like 500, but I would go 100?
No, again, we want to divide them
Okay.
from the school. We are dividing them so that the school doesn't close.
One other thing I need to understand is if from the Department of Education they identified this problem and Tabudi is not shut down, is still operating, or rather Tabudi is operating parasitic kosial. Understand it from the element, or if it's doing that parasitic, which means Sial is ready to give solution to Tabudi, number one. Which means they're ready to help out. So they can help out. Okay, whoever enrolled go Siale, not Tabudi, Mara Utana Siale. We're taking them or Kam Kabona, Bayokena Tabudi, which we divide the community into two. Ward 1 it's in Tabudi, Ward 2 ikene Kada. I don't know what did but then I'm just saying.
That's a good solution though. Or we can do it like this. I can remember we have like 4 phases of education. The first phase is foundation phase. It's from grade R, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. And then we have intermediate phase, which is from grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. Then we have senior phase, which is grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9. Then we have FET phase, which is grade 10, grade 11, and grade
12.
So how about when we're enrolling for CL, when we're enrolling for CL students, and ETLN is enrolling those grade 7s? Again, how about they take those grade 7s and what those grade 8s and grade 9s, all the students of East level.
Yeah.
The FET students with the senior students.
You know, understand that
both schools will have 300 students, and both schools will be operational. And when they
and both schools they empower the community.
You know, understand them. But now we san sial. But we san sial. We have a voter we sial or voucher decision.
Now we're not there.
Like
no,
you know,
when that happens, it will be a community match. I guess this is what we are just proposing a lot of solutions at the same time.
I remember there was one time
documented. Will come. This will be a point of reference for the community. Right now we're coming up with solutions that we got from the community when we were talking to them, and the solutions that we, as the podcast, had to go out and research and come up with. So we're just like. We're collecting information here, and this will be a point of reference for the community. This is what we can do.
Okay, MK, can I please answer Rulaman? I remember there was a time when I was still Maswatling. There was a point where the school was too small to accommodate all of us. So we had to use a church as school until the school was developed enough to accommodate that number. Understand? So we as students, we had nothing to do with that. The decision was executively taken. So by the monk,
they knew it would best fit the students.
Exactly. That was because of their key role players who had to take that decision. Remember, there's a structure. So we cannot overlook that. We can never overlook that.
Maybe over 8 years.
That's highly important.
That's what. Kana go ya o khona o tsena le motho wa lo ro feta 3 years grade 1 kana go ya that's why
but that was the educational system that allowed that
exactly. So because I don't think this problem was rooted from the previous one. It should even be much better right now.
No rubber structure says the challenge you billion amasote. That's why we maybe I get what we man mara. One has to preaching and 5 or 6 years.
The Department of Education decided upon that, and also no child can fail a phase 2 times, like foundation phase 2. You will never get into the same class with the person who's 3 years older than you. It will never happen. The educational system.
That's why
I'm saying let me answer you from there. Lebelele, I think
Yeah,
you
man,
misunderstood. I think he also misunderstood the fact that right now, according to those faces that we have, all he's saying is now we can now shift like as much as Italing Etika Bana for Baba grade 6. We cannot tomorrow grade 7 into Tabudi because of it's already what
Senior phase.
Which is what we did. Now when I went to Northern Academy, when I was in grade 7, we were in a senior. Like grade R till grade 12. So as grade 7s, we were now part of high school. So I think that
in follow when my brother was enrolling, when he was doing grade 8, he was doing grade 8 in primary, in a primary grade 7. Because there were too many students from Sfologo, they could not accommodate that many students, so they had to make a plan. So this is the plan that we are making.
And I think there's like 3 classes go Italian in grade 7.
Yeah.
So which means those 3 classes how many students are they?
I think it's 140.
140.
I'm assuming or it could be one.
Yeah, let's work around that. Let's say 140, you added with those students that Balinko
140,
and then we save the school, and then it continues.
The school continues.
So I want to understand
the history of
we're digging gold.
Yeah.
We're digging gold. It's golden podcast, you know.
Those are just some of the solutions that we can come up with. Man, you see, what I see right now is that my ninja here is not satisfied. Let's hear his side of the story. You know, I can change her.
Parliament just doesn't want this school to operate, dog. I can guarantee you that. Why? What happened?
Tabudi demonic, guys.
Demonic how? Tell us, take us Kamara energy. We want to see it from your perspective of this demonic thing, so that yeah.
Ora egi kwa grade 7 ke Tabudi for moniak. Bafu. Igi khono bona ra bele ka pare ke sathana.
O molo selifombo wa. O molo.
Kitsenera sathana straight.
Yeah.
And the show tawe kwa de rokoto cha Tabudi duju ya.
All right.
Aksanga ga itores follow what's utibagi triba stragije mapolisa to aska tshwara motho.
Amara, that's I think
it happened everywhere.
It's context of every high school.
Like it happened everywhere. Or somewhere
for Tabudi very culture. Okay.
But then which means the problem now of student enrolling there was no longer the student.
Just to visit.
Yes, yeah.
Just to visit. Yeah. Another time like another time when I was visiting Seattle, when I was in high school, they were outside. I know what was happening in Seattle, and whatever was happening in Seattle was the same thing that was happening in Sefolo. What I've never went through.
Even at Kushki, we had the same thing, dog.
Students smoking cigarettes.
I remember there was this one time at exactly. There was this time I remember like a student fighting a police vans or did you get what I mean? Ill discipline.
How? Like my police
remember maybe you're failing to understand something, ne? All I'm saying is behavior yadi student. Remember now, teachers, you get parents and the educators. That's why I lead teachers. You understand? Yeah. They educate you and they parent you. I don't want to say babysit you, but then they parent you.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. And then it becomes easy if you from your own household or feel a certain like I believe each and every household has ground base of rules. You understand? And if you come from such families, it's a common thing. We expect you should respect your elders. You should be willing to take orders. You're a kid. You get what I mean?
Of
everything. So if you're now failing to take instructions and you're failing to become a kid, you are now a man. You don't have to be at school. Because of Ojela Nanako, the only hope that he has is education. If he can get proper education, but he can't because of the teacher doesn't want to come to class because of
a person who doesn't want
or
to
X, they misbehaving in class.
How easy get someone and again Navile get promoted and I'm your host Valegil child. Udumata Fola, Levoto Lungo King was saying in 2007. Drolo Kapi, Maracas Colon too.
But then that had nothing to do with
it. When I teacher that I want out in three. Bon, yona ntho e ka ndi ya ntho. For example, hona le bana ba teleja dikosha tse di itse uno ba influence at company o ya la no ka lefasa e le ntwana le ka change ogusha.
You can be influenced by something as small as
it can change that.
Okay, yeah. So the environment.
So,
what you are saying is that we are
as a
just
parent,
product of our
why was
environment.
that fix it?
To protect you.
Protect you as a student.
I understand.
Yeah, that's why I get you. Like we get you.
I get you, but then I don't think that it's a huge major problem that would even cause the school to close down. Remember here we already identified the problem and we acknowledge the problem.
No, it could because my parent understanding or that's the kind of behavior my child will be exposed to won't take me to the school, so the school won't be wrong.
Then it refers us to the whole thing of management because of maybe after 12 months.
They sit down. There's quality management systems that they have to undergo just to show they are controlling the school to the best of their ability.
So which means all 12 until 2007.
That's not. You are not doing your job.
Exactly.
You are not doing your job. And Ivan is saying it correctly. They are not stopping these kind of things that will influence me as a student to happen. Look, okay. This is what I'm saying. Behind us, I know the wall is gold right now because we had the golden podcast. But behind us, something is the reason or and
we're not even like
there's some of the things that you cannot control. Coming into class, I'm coming here, I'm coming to sit down.
I still believe those are minor things, man.
Look, how it can influence
So that's part of being demonic. I kind of want to be in the remember the primary thing is I want to have that perspective. I want to have that direction. I understand. Okay, that alone we can deal with that, and then what else was demonic?
Management.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever problem was there would all goes back to the management. The management Tabudi as a whole failed us as the community, and they also failed to take responsibility in getting those solutions quicker to save the community. You get my point? I think we just need to be as brutal as we can because of even when they took that decision of closing the school, they were very brutal. You get what I mean?
They were supposed to take responsibility before the Department of Education's authority took the decision to close the school.
One understand? Because of now, even if you can check, like what you say, Barking, Kosial, there's learners from Hamakato going there, but then now the Batamaka pass, and then Honalibalu ring because of Bonaba and Rochelesia Street, they're not supposed to be on that pass.
That's another issue.
You get what I mean? And
there's causing other issues.
That's the problem on its own. So which means this management thing, because of Kibasi always being managed by management. So we need to identify those key role players within the management structures and come up with a solution. Give them the platform to come to say their side of the story, or maybe, I don't know, because of I remember there was a meeting that took place where there were key role players taking these decisions. You get my point? The next thing, because of if we don't deal with this kind of a thing, next thing, maybe the clinic might shut down. Maybe something else, the sports ground that's shutting down. We're killing the community. And in our watches as youth, we can never allow that to happen. We need to do something about that.
No, I agree with you. I agree that meeting, it was held again. The Department of Education, the circuit manager, was the one who called that meeting. And he invited the teachers from around the East 11 radius, Botokwa and other community, invited every other educated. They also invited the tribal authority of East 11, which is Nama. I don't know how to pronounce it, but and they also invited other key role players, which were government representatives, political representatives, the East 11 Community Development Forum. So they talked, and I
think we need to. How do we get hold of those people? I think we need them on the platform.
In order for us to get hold of Senomahara, we have to go through the development community forum.
Can we do that?
Yeah, that's what we should do. And I think I know a couple of people that we can talk to for
Yeah.
us to get. We should get at least a representation from all this.
Because of you know what I
Have an
feel
account.
from. My bad. You know what I feel from this management. I feel like there's personal hidden agendas because of now
They
this
could be.
this
And
thing.
then-
There's a whole lot of solutions around this thing, and Mara they
none
choose
of
to
them
shut
were
it
not
down.
taken.
Exactly.
None of them were
Or
taken.
maybe there's something alluring we're not enlightened with. One understand because of according to my understanding and our research
Team, the research team.
Tabudi was built by the community.
Bruh, it has a rich history.
You get what I mean? So which means we also have
parents.
Yeah.
They used their
It's called
they took
high school
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't need the government to build that school.
So
All
which
we
means we
needed
can
was the government.
privatize it.
Yeah. There are a lot of for us to do something like that, we have to
Yeah.
go to this key role players. Maybe partner up with the development forum, write a letter to the second manager and request authority to use that school. They won't say anything. He is bound to give. I guess they are not doing anything with it as a school. As a school, they are bound to give us whatever it is that we want to do. So right now that we know it's close to fit, now I have a question. What do you think we can do? Or in school we preserve that history of that school. Right now.
In terms of educational purposes or just to make sure that
Whatever
that building
it
is operating.
Yeah, just to make sure that that building is operating.
Technical school?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But how are we going to
Structure.
strategize it around that and structure it and manage it?
That's where we go to those people that have.
But those are the same
ability
people
to-
that closed the school.
No, we go to the people that have the ability, whatever it is that we think would be best suited to operate at Tabudi. We go to the people that we, as the podcast, I don't know what happened in the community, we think will be able to do whatever it is that we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mara, let's just put all those solutions that we both have
And
on the
the
ground.
ground. Continue Kalina Lord Tabudi High School. Leif technical school. We don't know what Tabudi.
Technical.
School.
Okay.
To
So
preserve the
to
history.
preserve the
Yeah.
history.
Okay, I also want to understand in terms of the community owning the school, how is that process?
Well, I think it will, that information will come from the tribal authority.
Or in terms of
hence I'm
rezoning,
saying-
ne?
Hence, I'm saying
Yeah.
when we want to do anything, if we have any plan of using that building, we have to partner up with the community development and then go to the tribal authority and then write a letter to the second manager, because they probably want to do something with the school. It's just that they don't know what to do. But once they see us talking, we're saying we think we can do whatever and whatever, they are bound to.
But what if there's someone out there trying to come up with something to do something right there?
Those are the channels they have to go through in order to do something.
Okay.
And I know
It must remain.
we as the community are responsible
Whatever you want
for
to do
preserving
there,
that
is
history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
it must remain a Tabudi.
Whatever or is going to operate there, we preserve the name. Whatever that we want to operate there remains with the name Tabudi. Yeah, which
So
is fair enough.
And whatever we as the community should also remember, whatever that building is going to be used for, it should be beneficial to the community. Remember, it was
Exactly my point. Yeah.
It was beneficial to the community. So we are not. We don't have any plans of turning that place into a tavern.
Yeah.
That won't be beneficial to the community.
Why what?
And we, as the podcast, will stand
Dude,
against
as it
whatever.
stands right now, we have when we on the street getting to get how the community feels about this whole new podcast coming to the neighborhood and everything. Most of them, one of them said, we have more taverns than schools.
Yeah.
That's alarming, bro.
Yeah.
That's very alarming.
And the fact that we, as the youth, we can see that it means we don't want. We want more community building organizations rather than community destroying organizations.
Exactly. And so it concerns me because of where are we going as a community? Which direction are we heading to? Because of... And we're not saying... I need to clear this up.
Sure.
We're not saying there shouldn't be liquor stores around the hood.
No,
but
that's
because of at the end of the day, it's also business. One understand? And you can't go to someone and say, don't open your business. Nah, that's they have plans of how they want to open business. But then whoever is responsible of making sure that we grow the community, these key role players, this management of the communities and every one of them, whoever is involved, gotta make sure that we develop the community. Because there's even one sports ground, if you can look right now, it's closed. It's no longer operating.
And that's a present matter.
You get what I mean?
Present matter.
And you might find the management is still it's synchronized. It's still the same management or something.
The people who agreed to that happening, to the closing of that sports ground, they are probably the same people.
Yeah,
it's probably the same people.
Yeah,
so that's a present matter. We need to then come together as a community and then try to deal with this kind of problems.
Beneficiary community more kasarna the library for one.
That's huge.
That's huge though. That's
Now the classes Tabudi are the operating Arna put office but Vasana Mela again.
Exactly.
Do you know what else I know? I know that we have librarians in our community, but then they are not working. They don't have jobs. They are failing to get jobs. That's also what we call creating jobs.
Yeah,
exactly. Job creation, and now we're fighting that 70-80% unemployment youth rate. What if I get out too? Yeah, man. I don't wanna lie. That's part of developing the community. I think this is way too broad than one episode. I think we still need to take this out and find solutions. Yeah, and not even just solutions. Like I think sometimes as certain individuals of the community, we fail to understand where we come from. As East Lebanon, Batokwa East Lebanon, where we coming from and where we are and where we wanna go. Understand? Because of right now, as what's happening around us, local level, like even Siale, I think it's the closest school to shut down because of right now we might have a certain percentage which is higher of getting education outside the hood than the actual ones. I understand.
We are here to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
That's our job. We are the voice of the voiceless.
Yeah.
We are the only podcast that matters.
Yeah.
We are the golden podcast.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it,
forget about it. The revolution shall be podcasted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Be podcasted.
So how can we implement? Like you said, we have to go through those channels so that we can implement it. Oh, okay.
That's how we. That's good.
And it might not even be us. We're not saying we're just saying. This is a platform where, as a community, we can come together and then do something. Because of now, we're just giving that platform.
Maybe next guest, I solution powerful.
Yeah. Mara, one other thing, remember, even now, this whole thing of rezoning, it's a big issue because we can't even have bigger opportunities to develop their community because of in terms of employment and I think there was something needed to be built or something, but because of rezoning or
that one covered again when they decided to eliminate us or separate the wards.
That demyelination process.
Now it means if there's a school that has to be built, there won't be enough voters for that to take place. I mean, the number of voters at Amahab, not just what, but the community of Amahab does not constitute enough numbers for a school to be built.
Yeah.
But if what one was the whole of East Lebanon,
and remember,
that would have been possible.
And that would have been massive, bruh.
Exactly, we're
talking about that. There was it was our grannies were promised to that school should be built.
My parents were building like a restaurant as a school, say I think. Oh, close. I think they were posed. I'm not lying down. Okay, look. I might be wrong, but I think there was a pole close to my yard. Going to high school for me would have been easy because I wouldn't have that money in my pocket. I would go to school, come back inside my house and eat, and then go back to school. So that school not been built. It cost me.
So in terms of education,
it's lacking.
The next generation that's coming after us, they might be even possible, or you might be traveling again. You might be traveling kilometers away from the hood for you to get education.
Or it's like that thing that's happening in Zulu Natal and other those other provinces. But I never separa distance here to Moyo Fita. Mkomine high, come out. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to go. For now, we're
going to rely Yes. Welcome to
and one of those technical thing that Rulaman is talking about. There's a technical school Tabudi. You know why I think it's a good idea. Look at this way. Back then, we had a lot of dropouts. And then they go and do odd jobs. But then you find that like they're very good in what they do with those odd jobs. But then it's businesses that are not formalized. Understand? So because of their own according to the system, they're not eligible enough to
do that type of work.
But are they doing it because they're not skilled? They believe that the system believes
they're not skilled because they don't have a paper.
Exactly. Mara, if you get it's
and already get
I can see it. You know what I mean? I won't be giving demonic things at the back because of I know right. Maybe my bricklayer or when you focus on that. Maybe agriculture. Imagine shutting a school that had agriculture. There's no agriculture. Imagine in a remote area like this, we close certain type of schools.
Ronald Matakama will go shut in school. You do last school. I'm
I think you must so Rumia guy do faster than Chasco was on
but at least with Juventus there's something for the community.
No, I'm the community. When you say something for the community, I'm the community. They gave me a place to stay.
Mara, I think we need to research more and find out more what went on.
This is not the last of this.
Yeah,
this year is not the last of this.
We live in it. Even I think if our viewers can go to our social media platforms, the Golden Podcast on Facebook and on Instagram, TikTok as well. So hashtag the Golden Podcast, and then you say whatever that you want to say, and then okay, how can we maybe tell us someone one of our viewers is sitting out there with a whole lot of information that can help us to help the community. You get my point.
Whatever it is that we've said right now, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Somebody out there, our listeners, our viewers, but not your information. They just have to hashtag the Golden Podcast on all social media platforms.
We are there. Management.
There's not a lot of it. Mara, we know it's management. Mara, we want you guys to come in. Right, go off
more fire, guys. More fire.
Go off it. Are we saying bye-bye to our listeners, our viewers? Or is there anything more that you guys want to add?
I don't know what is the producer saying. Do we still have more time?
Yeah.
You
still have more time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's
if we still have more time, like because of I think we still do have more time according to the research team because of there's juicy things that we have, and I feel like we're not firm on the ground enough to list them out.
So we're just waiting for the next episode. They should just wait for the next episode because the next episode will be hotter. It will be more specific.
Okay, let's give them. Let's see who they want us to bring here so that we can engage with them and let's see what goes on. But as the Golden Podcast, we're not taking it from here. We're taking it further.
This is not just the.
We want to research. Maybe we have, like you saying, you're a writer. You might start writing about the whole community or the history of it and what's going on. And I think we need certain key role players so you understand who are they, what was their responsibilities, and then what went down. Even the meeting that they had, because we do understand there were meetings being held on.
And what our research team right now is looking for is the minutes of those meetings. They are busy asking questions.
What if they're classified?
We are the podcast of it. Now what we can say is that we are going to find enough leverage.
But I think we also need to give a big big shout out to our researchers, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Like, because of what we have, I think, those people work. Amaroto.
They're you don't know them. You don't know them. You don't know what. They are our researchers.
Yeah, but then I don't know, like, big shout out to Golden Podcast researchers.
Footman La Strada.
Yeah.
Footman about UK, your face.
So Lankapa funeral near my friend.
Man, DJ Sambody.
Yeah,
I don't know what Casper.
Otloval Casper.
Okay,
We don't want to take Casper shine. We don't want to take Casper shine.
He want now. No, start the Golden Podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, we are bigger than him.
Guys, Malakaspar in your band.
Okay, yeah, man. So tell us about the whole friendship thing. It's like guy.
You. Kaspar Loloana.
No, it's what I want. I want you to organize me something young in the ring with him.
You think you can take him?
It's a small boy.
Mayweather. Kaspar Mayweather.
Doc, I'm 369 pounds, undefeated WBA heavyweight, Doc. What you trying to say?
Tomaga bouncer like it.
Man, when?
Yeah.
Okay, how about the podcast organizes something between the two of you?
Yeah.
Something professional. I don't know where, but then
Mama Ro.
Mama Ro. Oh, so even if you're some Mama Ro, somewhere. Mama Ro. Why not Mama Ro?
You know why?
You
know why? Akinya kurbare like kimulaleti or in kimulata da mo blomango.
Guys have honolo pele jabialo. No, he.
Doc, I once had a fight with Mike Tyson and the loser had to tattoo their face.
Wow.
So you can imagine.
Wow. The scar was so severe that he had to hide them, and the only way to hide them was so. Yeah, man. I get you, man.
You get what I'm saying?
You
need to be the ref, dog. What you saying?
I can imagine you see lo asking na meteze.
No, the thing is
This guy. Okay, I think we need to take this. What?
Yeah. Let's fight for Tabudi.
Yeah.
More fire for
Let's fight for
Yeah.
Let's fight for the community.
More fire. I can read something here now. DJ, come on, come on, DJ. Come on,
You don't know Mzegeze?
Come on,
How do
you know?
How do you know?
How do I know? Emona, I know because of Nikilda. Get up. I can come coach us calling Kespa.
He told you.
No, the thing is, he said it. He said, people said we did a good job with Mzegezege. Not even realizing Mzegezege is holding a can of more fire. You get what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but before DJ's Boo, I can be inspired from him, dog. I'm inspired from my hood, my community. Ramarucha is my role model. I think I need to disclose that because you know, Mara. I think I need to disclose it so that most people who are watching can know.
Ramarucha, dog, is my man.
As my Mushabi.
And running it that smooth.
It's my role model. Like I won't lie to you, dog.
Yeah.
Even at home, they know. Like ever since my reference when it comes to business, dog, I look up to that guy because of his philosophies. Like he's the Christoph Wissi of Islam.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And through whatever channel, I think we should get him on the show.
Hey,
I think we should get him on the show.
We should have a business segment where we invite business owners of the whole of football. And I think the first person to open up for them should be Mr. Musha.
I think once we have him here, we won't have any business entrepreneurs coming here, dog. I know you wanna bring your friend.
I don't want to bring anybody.
I know you wanna bring that guy. So you wanna bring that guy.
If this is a Chumio, this is a Casper. Oh, yeah, I see you.
But what about us? Like we're not totally sarcastic.
Okay,
and then this guy's gonna bring that guy.
When I already this Rula, man, guys, come on.
Yeah, let's close it down.
Thank you guys for watching us, Bafetu. We appreciate the support. We saw your support before we even started this thing, and we want to promise you, Bafetu, that we will always deliver this kind of massive content all day, every day. Gustavo, last words, Bafetu.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to the viewers, man. Big shout out to the Golden Podcast, man. First of all, man, I just wanna I wanna say this. Big shout out to God, man. Without him, I don't think we would have been this far with the idea of giving a platform for the community, and we still wanna engage with our community within certain spaces that we have identified as the podcast, and then we just wanna see everybody being inspired to aspire, like how we were inspired to come and aspire. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, man, for me, I shut it down, but to the whole time, the whole gang, intwana seka spini, wafiti, intwana seka, intwana kama the baby daddy, that's like a azai. Come on, no.